tuck, full pin, 4th gear, downhill. What can we do? Let's see. 65, 67, 68. I saw for a split second. The motor sounds like it's gonna blow up. Hey, what's going on, guys? Alex here with TFL Bike, and in this video I have my, what year is this? I don't even know. It's a 2021. I have my 2021 Honda Monkey, or Super Monkey as we've been calling it. And I want to do a little bit of a long-term update, but also see how a bike like this can handle the highways. Can you ride a Honda Monkey or a Honda Grom or any mini moto for that matter, Z125, whatever your pick is, can you ride it on the highway and get where you need to go? So we're going to get it out on the highway, but before we do, I want to give you a little walk around, show you what's up with the bike in case you've never seen it before, and also talk about what the last year has been with this bike, because I've owned it for about a year now, so it's a good time to do a little bit of a long-term update. This bike is not stock at all, and I'm actually going to pull out my phone because there's a huge list of parts here, and I'm not going to read through all of them, but I'll read through some of them. So the ECU has been flashed. It's got a Cameron Jones Racing ECU flash. It has a DingerBuilt intake, which is super pretty right there. Yoshimura exhaust, which sounds amazing. We'll hear it when we get out on the road. It's got a Yoshi camshaft as well. We've got aftermarket levers that are folding. Not a big fan of the folding levers, so I might swap those out at some point. Steel braided lines from Core. You have an oversized front rotor. I believe that's from Galfer. Same thing in the rear. Let's see. You have a bunch of different heat sinks up here on the top end of the motor that are aftermarket. A ton of stuff. I'll put this list in the description in case you want to see everything that's been done to it. There's a lot here to go through. Also, some notable things that were added were this tachometer right here, which is pretty nice, and a little temp gauge as well. I had an aftermarket seat on it at first, but this one's way more comfortable, so I switched to this one here. Suspension's all stock. Tires are stock. Honestly, not sure if the gearing is stock. I would imagine it's not. I think I'm a tooth lower in the front, but I could be wrong on that. But anyway, a huge list of stuff. I didn't pay any of that. I bought the bike the way it sits right now, and that's the way I've left it. But it's about $3,500 in parts thrown on top of this bike, which is only about $3,500 or $4,000 to begin with. Long-term reliability, what it's been like to live with this bike. I haven't really had a whole lot of issues. I really want to keep this bike long-term. If you know me, you probably have seen that I swap through motorcycles quite often, and it's pretty rare for me to hold on to a motorcycle for a full year. But I think I have a few years left in this one at least, because out of all the bikes I own, this one is just so fun to ride, and so many people comment on it. Issues that I've had with the bike over the past year. The clutch might be going out, but that's not really a problem of the bike. It does have an aftermarket clutch in it, and I've been doing a lot of wheelies on this bike, so I haven't been nice to it. The good thing is clutches are easy and cheap on this bike, so I'm not too concerned with that. Also related to the wheelies, or maybe not, is this front headlight. The whole assembly just kind of pops out on my bike. Tommy has the same problem on his from, going off-road and whatnot. So that's not amazing, but, it doesn't really bother me all that much. This little chrome ring around the speedometer has come off, and I bought the bike like that. So that didn't happen during my ownership, and I probably should find that chrome trim ring to slap on there, because why not? Beyond that, really no issues. I've had a battery drain issue, so this bike, every once in a while, I have to bump start it, and that's probably related to one of these two aftermarket powered items up here, but yeah, I haven't really cared enough to look into that because this bike is so easy to run down a hill and bump start the few times it's left me stranded with no electric start, it's not really too big of an issue. And one thing I really want to do is put on the Euro style taillight so it doesn't look so sporty. It has kind of a round chrome taillight there with the 2 turn signals that stick off the side, and I think it's a really good look. I've got 1,563 miles on it, so I think I put about 500 or 600-ish miles on it in the year I've owned it, which is not a ton, but you got to remember I own a lot of other vehicles, so this is not my primary motorcycle or my primary mode of transportation. I did ride it here to this parking lot, so it's a little warmed up, but still only 100 degrees. And that's one of the weirdest things. Well, I'm not in first gear. But that's one of the weirdest things with the Honda Monkey. Both this one that has a bunch of aftermarket mods and Tommy's Monkey that is pretty much bone stock except for the tires. Both of these bikes sort of run like a carbureted bike when they're cold. They're just not super happy. You really got to get them up to temp. So this is the 4-speed Monkey. If you buy a brand new Monkey this year, you'll get it with a 5-speed transmission, which is the same as they're using in the new Grom as well. The top gear, like the ratio is really not different. Case has spent more time on the 5-speed than I have, but he said it really only affects like the middle gears. And you're still, you know, if you're high speed on the highway, you're still going to be pretty wrung out. So I don't think that 5th gear, if you already have a 4-speed, I wouldn't go trade in your 4-speed to get a 5-speed. Now, I am low on fuel, so we got to stop and fill this thing up before we take it on the highway. But that's one of the best parts about this bike. We'll use the expensive stuff too. There we go. That took like 10 seconds. $3 exactly, 0.7 gallons. So, like I said, not exactly on an empty tank, but $3, man, that doesn't hurt at all. Which is why in the summer, I like riding this as much as I can, because fuel economy is unbeatable. Alright, so this is a ride that I do pretty often. This is my regular commute from home into TFL Studios. And we're turning onto Highway 287 here. I've got an actual bike behind me that's gonna fly around me in a second. But yeah, that's 4th gear. I do this a lot. Try and shift up to 5th because the bike's screaming and it sounds like it wants to go up a gear, but there isn't another gear. It's a 55-mile-an-hour highway. I'm doing 60 right now, according to the speedometer. And yeah, the bike's vibrating a lot. But I'm keeping up with traffic, and we're going slightly uphill, and now it's transitioning to a little bit of a more aggressive uphill. 57, 56. So yeah, I wouldn't expect to do, 60 plus miles an hour on this. You're not going to want to get on an 80-mile-an-hour highway, but on Highway 287, it's 55 miles an hour. For a few minutes, it's fine. This is normally my turn right here, so it's totally capable of doing little trips like that. If you need to get on the highway like I do for an exit or two, a mile or two, in order to get to your destination, yeah, the bike's going to do just fine. If I wanted to take this highway all the way up to Longmont, I'd probably take my MT-09 instead. Yes, it would do it, but I just feel bad for the little bike. I don't want to put it through that much strain, just have it that wrung out. It's air-cooled too, so, I want it to last. So yes, this monkey probably has a little bit more top end than a bone stock monkey, just because of all the modifications that have been done to it. But you're not talking a difference of like 10-15 miles an hour. Probably has a little better acceleration, couple miles an hour better top speed. But yeah, it's not going to be drastically different. This right here is a 40 mile an hour road. I'm doing 50, so just a little over the limit. But yeah, on big wide open roads like this, you know, it's not the ideal bike, but that's kind of what makes a bike like this so fun, is that you're racing it around everywhere you go. You're full throttle, slamming through every gear, and you're maxing the bike out pretty much on every trip, which I think is a hell of a lot of fun. Sometimes it's a lot more fun to ride a slow bike fast than it is to ride a fast bike slow. And something like my MT-09, I could easily do triple the speed limit on this road and get myself into a lot of trouble. And with this, I pretty much just go as fast as I can everywhere, and at the most on a big road like this, I'm 10 over the limit, which, come on, is a cop really gonna pull you over for 9-10 over the limit on a cute little bike like this? He might, but I don't think so. I think your chances are pretty slim. Another reason I love this bike, I've been trying to, you know, get more comfortable doing wheelies, and not that I want to loop this bike, but I'd feel a lot worse looping my $10,000 bike than my $4,000 bike. And this is also just simple and easy to get parts for. Parts are pretty cheap, so I'd rather repair this bike than I would a full-size motorcycle. So while I'd say I don't want to beat on it, I'm okay with beating on it a little bit. Alright, this is the same stretch of highway, but I'm gonna slide my butt back, get in the full tuck, full pin, fourth gear, downhill. What can we do? Let's see. 65, 67, 68. I saw for a split second. The motor sounds like it's gonna blow up. 68. I think that's all she's got. 68 seems to be the top speed. So yeah, with a tailwind and downhill and being a very light rider, I can get this to almost 70, but it's not exactly easy to do that. So there you have it, my 2021 Honda Super Monkey, as we like to call it at TFL. Like I said at the start of this video, I don't normally hold on to my motorcycles for a very long time. I get pretty bored of them, and tend to swap them out pretty quickly, and this one here I have no intentions of getting rid of. My MT-09 I've also had for a long time, but I really want to get rid of it. That's more of a cost thing. It's just going to cost me a few grand to move out of that into what I really want. This bike, there's nothing else I want to replace it, and I think I'll always from now on have a mini moto in my fleet, in my garage, because especially in Boulder and Lafayette, Colorado, there's really not a ton of fast roads, and parking can be terrible, and this bike is just perfect. So yeah, let me know if there's anything else you want to see with it. I know we've done a few videos in the past, but it's always nice to get an old bike out, and plus it's beautiful. Fall colors are changing, and it's gonna start snowing here pretty soon, so might as well enjoy as much time on two wheels as I can before it gets a lot harder to do so. So there you go, the Honda Monkey. It's been a great bike, and I'm keeping it for a long time. I love it. Head on over to alltfl.com so you don't miss anything in the bike world, and we'll catch you in the next video.